Hello, hello, hello. It is me, the new media forbidden door, SP3. We are live, my first time live on the True Hill Heat Sports YouTube channel. This is for all of our great fans for True Hill Heat Wrestling who want to see us talk about a little bit more about combat sports, about the major sports leagues. We are here to discuss it, and this is THH Sports number 3, talking about NBA basketball. We're going to recap last season, the 2021-22 regular season and playoffs, NBA championships, as well as the start of the NBA free agency for the off season. I am here with the face and the ace of the True Hill Heat YouTube channel and THH Sports YouTube channel. You've seen him on our first 2 videos on this channel. He is Romeo Anthony Cologne.
What's up, everybody? I am the only person to be on all 3 THH Sports videos to start things off. How long will this streak last? Not long, probably not long.
Yes, you have to balance things out. You do need off days because you're on. I said it yesterday when we did THH 183 together. You're on they're on that channel 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you need to spread it out. You got a lovely significant other that you got to spend time with. You got to catch up on Stranger Things. So there's a lot. There's a lot. But ladies and gentlemen, I do want to also mention, since Romeo's watching Stranger Things, if we can build this channel enough, we will start THH Entertainment, where we could talk about Stranger Things and stuff like that. Just want to put that out there as well. But we also have with us a gentleman you might know as the True Draw. You see him on Rated Raw Superstars over on the main channel, as well as Elite Heat, as well as on our Twitch channel on Rampage Wrap Up. He is Josh. What's going on, good brother?
How's it going? I mostly follow baseball, but I wanted to join in today, just get some of my thoughts on the NBA season.
Yeah, you dabble in the NBA. I love to hear your opinion on the NBA. We have a sports chat that we frequent very much so. So we are able to hear everyone's point of view, whether they're a main fan, a casual fan. When it comes to NBA and basketball in general, we all like to hear each other's opinions, and we want to hear all of your opinions for the people who are joining us live on the THH YouTube channel or True Hill's Facebook page or my Twitter page. You can join us if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter. Jump on the YouTube channel, go over and subscribe over there for this content. When it comes to sports, we're going to be covering NBA, NFL, UFC, baseball. We might dabble into some NHL. We're going to dabble into a lot of different things, and we're always going to be looking for more contributors. So if you are more into hockey, if you're more into some soccer, some football, as I've been learning here in the UK, some football, you can let us know. You can send us a DM on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook and let us know you want to be a contributor for THH Sports and talk about some of the other sports. But we're going to be focusing today on the NBA and basketball. Josh, you're already showing your true colors, those awful colors, but let the people know where your loyalty stands and how are you as far as NBA basketball.
Well, I mean, as you see, my loyalty stands with the Knicks, but the difference with me, the complete difference is that I understand our team sucks. So usually every season I pretty much have no expectations for the team. If they have a decent season, hey, I'm fine with that. Do I expect them to go far in the playoffs? Absolutely not. But that's just me being honest. And at least I have the Yankees to fall back on.
He's a smart man. He's a smart man. He's intelligent. That's the only. I've said this many different places. You usually have heard me, talk sports over on FMC on Fightful Overbook with Jeremy. We're still going to be doing that. Still going to be talking about NBA over there. But this is a concentrated channel for this type of content. But I always say the only New York team I like is the Yankees. So maybe I'll jump in on an MLB talk just to talk about me being a complete novice when it comes to that and not really regularly watching baseball But Romeo, you're also showing your true colors as well with your background. Let the people know where your loyalties lie and how you're a delusional fan of that team.
I'm not delusional. I'm not delusional. And like Josh said, it is nice to be a Knicks Yankees fan. I can't imagine being a Knicks and a Mets fan. Whoa.
They got the same colors and the same
Yeah.
success rate.
Yeah.
That's like an awful thing to just be a fan of those guys. But and of course for me, if you are unaware, I am from New York, but I am a long time Los Angeles Lakers fan. It started when I was young. My dad, ill-advised probably, showed me a tape of Magic Johnson in like the 80s before I was born. And that was like my first experience watching basketball when I was very young. And then I flourished out of that. I became, a fan of, the regular NBA. I loved Michael Jordan when I was a kid. And then when I turned 8 years old, my sister took me to my first basketball game. I don't know if I've ever told these guys this story, but my sister took me to my first basketball game. It was in Philadelphia. It was the McDonald's All-American. And I saw a young kid from Lower Merion High School named Kobe Bean Bryant when he was still in high school. And I was like, that's my guy. That's the guy. Because everybody was a Michael Jordan fan when I was young. But I chose him to be my guy. So I followed his journey into the NBA draft, became a Lakers fan due to him getting traded to the Lakers from the Charlotte Hornets. And I've been a Laker fan ever since I was 8 years old. That's been my team and the team I've loved. And joining us as well, he's on CP time. At least he's not on drunk CPT time. So he's a little bit earlier than he usually
I'm on BT
is.
time, excuse me.
Okay.
Daddy time, because my daughter's sleeping my
No. Because I'm a dad as well, sir. Don't worry. You can't put that out there. No.
Ooh.
Dads can be early.
She's asleep in my room. You want me to yell right now? I do this while no, I can't do that.
I'm not asking you to yell, but don't put it on us. This is your time.
I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming you. I didn't blame you. I said
no. You by saying it's dad time. No, it's not dad time.
It's always dad time.
Dads can be on time. Maybe you're DD time, drunk dad time. But he is the one and only drunk guy JJ. You might know him from our main channel, from Rated Raw Superstars, from Fightful Overbook, True Rewind. Drunk guy JJ, thank you for joining us. First time here on THH Sports.
Yes, good to be here. We are, just to let you guys know, we don't only watch wrestling. We're not dorks. We like other things. We like other sports. We're here for basketball, my favorite sport.
So you're
Mine
saying
as well.
So you're saying watching wrestling, a bunch of dorks just watch wrestling?
75-25, yeah. But it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. Hey, listen, we all watch it, so clearly we're not judging. So it's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. I see where this is going. But yes, we've been kind of introducing ourselves as far as like where we are, where we stand in the NBA lore. Where does your loyalty side lie, drunk guy?
Oh, I bleed red. I mean, red is blood, but I bleed red. Miami Heat all day, man, all day and tomorrow. Heat Nation.
Hold on a second, guys.
The heat is on.
I forgot to play this. I'm sorry. Hurry up and read this quick. You've been warned. Just replace, put a little sports in there. The True Heel Heat Sports YouTube channel. All the True Heel Heat Network, however you want to say it. All channels related.
We're talking sports. Well, sports does get heated. No pun intended.
But of course, if you're new, remember to drop a thumbs up on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you are new to the THH Sports YouTube channel. It will be up on our community wall on the main channel as well. And if you, like I said before, if you're watching us on Twitter or Facebook, jump on over to THH Sports. We're looking to grow this channel, give you more content as far as when it comes to sports, and of course, sound off in the live chat. And we're going to try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. This is different from the THH main channel where I say, you know, of course, the super chat donation is the best way to have your comment highlighted on screen over there. We are non-monetized here on this channel, so we're going to highlight as many as your comments as possible. We got Chase Oliver joining us. Yeah.
Well, we got to give special treatment to our patrons on Patreon.
Oh, of course. Like I said, I see we got you, my boy Blue, one of our Patreons, saying sup, my guys. He was with us for the NFL chat. I saw him in the live chat as well over there. He came a little bit late. He missed us talking about the Panthers, so he was a little disappointed. So I'm glad he's here early. Chase Oliver saying Josh 100% like a Dodger fan here in Cali. No, you should be a Lakers fan.
No, but at least the difference with Dodgers, the Dodgers are actually good, and they're like a legit contender every year. There's actually a lot of times that I've actually praised the Dodgers. I think they're one of the best organizations in all of sports, just because the way they trade people, the way they trade, the way they draft, and the way they spend money. Sometimes, free agency. Sometimes they don't care. Yeah, so they're not like one of those teams where they spend a lot of money and there's no direction. With them, there's direction at least.
Padres,
the moves they do. Exactly.
Sophie saying I got my Yankees too, so word up. I see you got the BX in your title, so that makes sense. Chase Oliver says Romeo being pro Knicks are like the Lakers fans here. My coworker went nuts on me on the Lonnie Walker stats, laughed my fucking ass off. Okay, that's one Laker fan. Us Laker fans in general,
are you happy with Lonnie Walker?
No, he's athletic, but he's not what we're exactly looking for. And it's not the same as pro-positive Knicks fans. I'm sorry. I've lived in New York my entire life. The Daily News are pro-positive Knicks fans who every single free agent they have told us in my lifetime, I've seen Daily News say that the Knicks are getting Chris Webber, Tracy McGrady in his prime, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, the list goes on and on. It's ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous.
KD.
And it's not only that. They have a habit in New York City. They'll literally make ads of players who are not even there a year before, think they're gonna come, because it happened with LeBron. They made a bunch of ads with LeBron and Knicks.
Yes,
they did the same thing with KD. They did the same exact thing with KD. And he ends up in New York. Kyrie. Yep. And he ends up in New York, just not Madison Square Garden, New York.
Just not the Garden, ladies and gentlemen. But we got another entrant into our big round table here on the NBA. One of my favorites
on the trumpets
NBA with us. Yeah, I got it. I had my finger on the trigger. Here we go. It's the one and only.
I'm not here for any Knicks slander. I just got here and I'm already hearing the Knicks slander. All right? Fuck you. We're going to start it straight like that. I'm not here for it.
What slander?
Shut up. You know what you're talking about. And you're wearing a fucking Knicks shirt on.
That is not realistic. It wasn't slander.
I mean,
it was
realistic. Slander.
Anything realistic about the Knicks is slander because let's face it, you're damn.
But it's not slander when you actually
Knicks fans, huh?
It's crazy. But it's not. But it's
shit right now.
But it's not slander when it's actually true. They make ads of KD, and he doesn't even come to New York. He doesn't even come to the Knicks.
I have no excuse for that. They're bad poor marketing.
This stream is going exactly as I thought it would.
And they should have asked me, because I've been telling people I had the inside source. I didn't know it at the time, but my nephew told me in the summer of 2018 that KD was going to the Nets with Kyrie. I didn't know at the time that he had inside information. I knew he was working with Kyrie, but I didn't know he was inside with the family. But man, I wish I would have told those Knicks people.
To be fair to Knicks fans, if he would have went to the Knicks, he probably would have actually traded the first season. So think of it as a good thing you didn't get, KD and Kyrie.
I mean, yeah,
I'm ecstatic we didn't get them.
We're gonna talk about that for sure on this stream here. We got You, my boy Blue, who says, I don't know what Carolina trade was worse. Second round pick for Sam Darnold or Kobe Bryant for fucking Vlade Divac. At the time, though, it was understandable because Kobe was a relative unknown. He was a kid out of high school. Yeah, that's totally fine because Vlade Divac was one of the Lakers' main starters at the time, and they were trading a main starter for a relative unknown. That's totally fine. If you want to talk about all-time horrible trades, not on our part but on the people that gave us it's Pau Gasol for Kwame Brown. I'm sorry, there's nothing topping that in Laker lore. The fact that we got Pau Gasol for Kwame Brown. Elite big Pau Gasol. If you know, you know.
And the rights to Mark. You also traded the rights to Mark.
We gave them, but that was when Mark was a relative unknown. They didn't know Mark. Mark was like 50 pounds lighter than what he became in Memphis.
I don't know, man. I'd be pretty depressed if my team had Kobe Bryant and they traded him away. Like even if you didn't know, looking back on it in hindsight,
but you can't say that though. But in hindsight, yeah. But you can't
you can say in hindsight, but it's not a bad trade when it happened. That's
at the moment, no.
But my thing is, right, with Kobe, did he even want to be in Charlotte? Like, because I always heard different rumors about that, and I think that was probably one of the reasons why they traded him, because he didn't want to be in Charlotte to be.
He wanted to be in Boston.
When you're like the 14th pick, I don't really think you have a choice. I think it's the top 3 picks that you could be like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to.
No, but it's not only that. But I know that during that time, they were more loose with stuff like that because Steve Francis, he was traded. Remember, he was drafted by Vancouver, and he pretty much refused to play in Vancouver. He did not want to be in Vancouver. So they end up trading him because he said himself he was going to refuse to play for the team.
I get what Chris is saying, though, because Steve Francis, wasn't he a top 3, top 5?
Yeah, he was.
That draft. So it's different when you're in that. Kobe's I think he was just in the lottery, just at the tail end of the lottery.
He was
you kind of don't have that much choice. And like I said, he was a relative unknown. This was back when high school players, people didn't think much of high school players. It was KG and Kobe were the ones that made
and Ben Wallace that year too.
The thing. Huh?
Ben Wallace that year too.
But he wasn't drafted. Ben Wallace was signed.
Oh, what? He was
signed.
He came out of high school.
No, but he was Ben Wallace was signed. He was never drafted.
Yeah. The other high school player in that draft, I think, was Jermaine O'Neal. But we got Chase Oliver, who says, how I became a Wolves fan. SP3 KG was my dude. I would have been a Sonics fan, but a young KG stole my heart. I lived in Washington for a bit. So okay, that's fair. Fair.
We're gonna talk.
We weren't a Sonics fan. Yeah, we're
gonna talk Wolves. Stay tuned
for sure. Yes. We got Frantic World joining us saying what's up, guys, in chat. We also got Chase Oliver, who says, when you are here in Los Angeles, these people love everything the Lakers doing, saying they surrounded LeBron with youth and shooting. But you got to understand, you compared it to being a super positive Knicks fans. Lakers fans have a reason to be so positive. We've seen a championship. We've seen 20 several championships. Exactly. There's no reason.
They also got LeBron James.
Positive. Exactly.
Yeah, there's you're talking about. Yeah, that's kind of that's apples and oranges comparisons because Knicks haven't won anything in how many years?
None of us were alive on this chat. None of us
49, but who's counting?
Are we about to reach 50 years? My God.
The Lakers have had 6 or 7 championships in my lifetime.
Yes, in my lifetime, six championships.
Yeah, I've seen 6. Yeah,
we've all seen 6 championships, pretty much. Frantic Rail saying, "What's up, Kish G?" We got Derek, who says Stephen A. Smith and Spike Lee get too emotional about the Knicks. Yeah, I'll give Romeo that. Romeo is super positive, but he shouldn't be. But at least he doesn't get overly emotional like Stephen A. Smith and Spike Lee.
And they're moisty fans. That's why they're moisty Knicks fans, and I don't like moisty Knicks fans.
ESPN hams it up. They love the doom and gloom video packages of the Knicks fans. It's a bit for them. It's a bit.
Exactly. And then finally, we got Nick Jackson, who says, yeah, the Kobe trade was just happenstance. They had no clue he was a diamond in the rough. So thank you guys. You guys are very active today. We appreciate that. We love this interactive feel in the live chat. So keep it coming.
Subscribe.
But yes,
Subscribe on YouTube.
Subscribes.
Fucking
We're at
subscribe,
38.
guys.
Let's get to 40 in the
We-
stream.
We're trying to hit 40 at least on this stream. We're trying to hit 50 by the end of the week. We're gonna have
51
a
for sure.
baseball podcast. Yes, we're trying to bypass 51. 51's the magic number for the week. That's what we're going for the week. But yes, we're going to talk about NBA season from 2021-2022, as well as the playoffs. First, I'll start with drunk guy JJ, because you said you're a Miami Heat fan. You guys had a great regular season. What was your were you under the impression that the Heat was going to make a stride into the playoffs? And then what was your overall reaction on the Heat season from regular season into the end of the playoffs for you guys?
Honestly, very impressive, to be honest. After coming off of last season where we got our asses smoked by Milwaukee in the playoffs, I did not know the direction we were going, especially with paying Duncan Robinson all that money, which, yeah. Anyway, then, of course, everybody counted us out after the whole scuffle on the bench. It was like, oh, this team was going to blow up. It's over. Blah, blah, blah. They're screwed. All this. We didn't have our starting five the whole season, by the way. It was always mixed up because everybody was hurt. I think they only played like 21, 22 games together, which is crazy when they're number one in the East for the basically second half of the season. Of course, once we were rolling in the playoffs, I swore we were going to the finals, and bitch ass Boston ruined things for us. But it's okay because they lost in the finals as well, so that made me happy. But if things work out, if Oladipo comes back healthy next year. They gave him that 1 year contract, a pretty hefty 1 year contract, coming off of all his injuries. We should make some strides. I don't think Jimmy's on a decline, to be honest. I mean, he plays great in the playoffs, but all he's doing now, he's 32. So I'm assuming Jimmy's going to be on the decline very soon. I don't know what we're going to do in the offseason. I wanted to trade for KD, but clearly Brooklyn's asking for way too much with that.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to the KD and Kyrie drama, but let's go to the Knicks fans here. How was it? We'll start with Chris because he's the more he was a little optimistic heading into the season. I remember because we had our preseason preview of the Knicks, and even me, someone who is probably one of the bigger critics in New York of the Knicks, I even had them making the playoffs this season. And
me too, for sure.
What happened? That's what I will ask you, Chris. What happened?
Well, from what I've seen the whole season, adding Evan Fournier kind of changed the dynamic of the starting lineup. Not too bad. They started integrated him a little smoother, I want to say the second half of the season, but it was more just whatever vets we had just played way too many fucking minutes because they were all
Rose
trash.
being hurt.
You know what I mean? Rose being hurt is big because he eventually became our starting point guard.
Yeah.
You signed Kemba.
Yeah.
He does nothing. Basically a waste of space on the team.
That right there. Oof.
It hurt, especially when it took Tibbs 25 fucking games to figure out that, Kemba can't keep up with anybody defensively anymore.
But the crazy thing about it, sorry to cut you off, but the crazy thing about it, when y'all bench him, that whole week he goes on a tear, and then that was it.
Yeah, but it's not like we were winning. You know what I mean? We barely skated by in that Christmas game, and then the other game where he's like, "Oh, Kemba had 41." It's like, yeah, but we lost by 15, bro. We lost. You know what I mean? Nerlens Noel played half the season, and then when he did play, we were better off playing Jericho Sims. Alec Burks was either really good or really fucking bad. Going 8 for 14 0 for 14 one game. Those minutes easily could have been allotted to guys like Quentin Grimes, who proved in his rookie season in a small amount of time that he can guard bigger players and he can guard from the 1 to 3 position. And he's actually a good shooter. Miles McBride, another guy, gives you anything but everything and on an energy level and can shoot. Another young guy that they got to let play more. And then Jericho Sims, they just rewarded him with a nice contract this year because they got rid of Nerlens Noel and Alec Burks. There was a handful of guys that, I understand Tibbs relies on the vets, but he relied on the vets a little too long. It hurt us. And when he finally figured out that we got to let these young kids play, Knicks started beating good teams. But too little, too late.
By
You
the way,
mentioned Alec. He
you can
just
say Alec
mentioned
Burks something.
Alec Burks, and that's like my favorite player to get in 2K because you could trade him for like an all-star. It seems every year, it doesn't matter how trash he is, you can always find a way to trade him for an all-star.
I'm not gonna get on Burks too much because he was getting asked to play point guard. Like he's not.
Yeah, I understand that.
He's not a point guard. Did you bring up Randall? Because that was another big.
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna give Randall. I'm gonna give Randall a pass because you know what? He didn't have a great year, but he didn't also have a terrible year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But it was a regression.
But it was a regression. But the kid's 27, 28. I mean,
yeah, but when you come off a great season, you gotta elevate, man. Your team is now on you. You took them to the playoffs the year before.
That's when you have a superstar. Julius Randle's not a superstar.
He's looking a little slimmer now in the summer league, showing up. He looks like
he's maybe he's pissed off now. I hope so. Angry Julius Randle's great.
Former baby Laker great.
Got injured.
Which I loved him. I loved him on the Lakers. I thought he was going to be big on the Lakers. I was happy when they drafted him.
He and D'Angelo, right?
Yes, the baby Lakers, yo. D'Angelo, Randall,
Kuzma.
Lonzo, Kuzma, Ingram.
All thriving elsewhere.
Yes,
crazy.
Because of LeBron James. But
especially Ingram.
Josh, you say you don't really watch NBA too heavy. What was your thoughts on like the Knicks kind of from what Chris is basically saying, it kind of imploded on themselves after a lot of people had higher hopes for them after their great regular season in 2020, 2021.
Yeah, so like what Chris said about Tibbs paying the vets too much. Yeah, that's actually pretty accurate because there was times where I'm wondering, like, even didn't they have Taj Gibson on the team? And he was paying a lot
more minutes than Jericho Sims.
So somebody like that, somebody like that who was paying a lot. Every time I turn on the next game, he was on the court. I'm like, how is this guy still playing? Right. I think with Tibbs, I think what it was too was that he was trying to figure out too much during the season. Tibbs, he was trying to figure out way too much of stuff, having a set formula of where the team's gonna go. Now, there's a lot of things that did happen, like Kemba just didn't work out, unfortunately. And he was somebody I was looking forward to, I was hoping it would work out just because, he was actually somebody, he actually lived not that far from me. So there was a few times I actually saw him like playing like in Sound View. So he was like one of those guys that on a personal level, I hope he would have worked out, but it just didn't. But yeah, that's pretty much what it was for the Knicks this season. I think they were just he was trying to figure out too many things at once, and then once they finally figured it out, it was too late for it.
Exactly.
Anything you want to add, Romeo, to the Knicks combo?
It was funny they traded for Cam Reddish, and then Reddish doesn't play. It's like, oh man,
a first-round pick at that.
Tibbs, he just loves his veterans. You got to play defense. If you don't play defense, you're not going to be on the floor. Tibbs didn't trust Jericho Sims. That's why Taj Gibson was getting all those minutes. Kemba Walker, I was originally excited about Kemba and D Rose, playing point the whole game, and I was wrong about that because Kemba was cooked. So
Rose was hurt.
I feel bad because I thought that Kemba in New York was going to be magic because he was always magic in Madison Square Garden when he was with UConn. So I thought he could capture some of that magic again. But
Cardiac Kemba.
He always played good against the Knicks too.
Yeah,
he always played good against us at the Garden.
Always on that garden parquet, he played well. We got a couple of comments about the Knicks in the live chat here. Keep them coming in the live chat. Like I said, we're gonna highlight as many of your comments as you put out there. Chase Oliver says, "I love Quickly. From the little I have seen from him, I don't know how you feel about him, but I think he has good point guard capabilities."
I think I love IQ. Let me just start off there, right? His starting point guard run towards the end of the season was good, but they were playing a lot of backups. They were playing bad teams. He proved he can be a point guard, maybe a starting point guard on another team, but not on the Knicks. We just signed Brunson, and I actually think he's better suited for that 6-man role off
Oh,
the
hell
bench.
yeah.
So I'd rather have IQ. I think he got that confidence now. He knows he could ball. Let him go against the second unit. He's just better that way. He's better fitted that way.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's
I
what it
think
should
he's
be.
a great backup. He could be a great backup for the Knicks. He gives them that energy that they need off the bench. But
And takes the
yeah,
pressure
he's
off him being a starter.
yeah.
Absolutely. You hope Brunson plays the role of Luca, and then quickly could play the role of
Okay,
Brunson for
okay.
last year.
Well, there you go.
There's a little high expectations, but it's all right.
Yeah, like,
It's all
okay.
right.
But you
All
got
right.
you get what I'm trying to say.
I get what
He's
you're
not gonna
saying.
be Luca. He plays the role of him.
He'll play the role.
Okay, all right. Derek in the chat saying paying Julius Randle too much money for what he delivered this past season. Yeah, that's what it
Yeah, maybe
seems
for
like.
this past season, but I think it's still like the kind of deal that he got was kind of like, if you think about it, was still under market value because
Yeah.
he did take a cut, so it wasn't like he got a max deal. Yeah, it was just this past season. There was a lot of frustration with him too.
And it's also go ahead,
yeah,
Josh.
him
I
doing
was
that to the
Mhm.
yeah, him doing that to the fans. Yeah, it was just, you could see his body language was just not there. His body language was just not there.
I can
You know
realize
what? The thing with Julius Randle too is just like when you got to rely on him to be your primary playmaker, it's going to kind of
Yeah.
fuck his game up. When he has other playmakers around him, and he's a guy that could just catch the ball, have a quick first step, go to the bucket. He's always going to finish. Or if he has an open three and he's hot, he's going to hit the three. He needs a playmaker. I think with Jalen Brunson, production scoring might be around the same, but his turnovers are going to go down. His rebounds are going to go up. His efficiency is going to go up.
that does help a lot, honestly, because like you said, a player like Jalen Brunson coming in, like outside of Rose, again, Kimber didn't work out, so outside of a
And
player
no
like
D
Rose,
Rose.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So I think Brunson's gonna help a lot.
Julius
Okay.
Julius's annual salary is in line with players like Draymond Green, Al Horford, John Collins, Mike Conley, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, a little under DeMar DeRozan. He's the 50th highest paid annual player.
I like him better than everybody besides DeMar.
Yeah.
And maybe
I
maybe
don't
sounds
like
like
I
a
don't
paid.
like it
and
better
maybe
than
Draymond.
Draymond.
I was gonna say maybe
I'll take
Draymond. He's a
I'll
four-time
take
champ, defensive player of the year.
exactly, and
I'll give you that.
he's the glue of that Golden State
State.
Warriors team. So that's a good way to transition into the playoffs. Like drunk guy touched on. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. I know what you're thinking. We are going to talk about the bigger implosion of the year, my Los Angeles Lakers, but we'll get to that. But let's talk about the
wait.
overall playoffs in general. Since we talked about Draymond Green, Golden State Warriors are the NBA champions, raising that trophy, defeating the Boston Celtics in 6 games. This was my pick, honestly, when it came to the start of the playoffs. Of course, at the beginning of the regular season, of course, I thought it would be better, but that didn't work out too well. But at the beginning of the playoffs, I said the Golden State Warriors were in line to go back to the NBA championship and win. Were you guys surprised that the Warriors won from how the whole thing was laid out in the beginning of the playoffs, with Miami being number 1 in the East, Boston on their winning streak, looking like the hottest team heading into the playoffs? You had Phoenix, number 1 seed in the West. Were any of you guys surprised with the Golden State Warriors pulling it out? Josh?
I wasn't surprised at all because I also picked the Warriors too in the championship. I mean, it was just more surprising. I mean, not surprising, but it was kind of looking rough there for a while, just because, once Klay Thompson came back, they had a period of adjusting. So they were pretty much losing a lot of games during that period. And then you had Steph Curry's injury, which he was out for the rest of the regular season. But then once they got to the playoffs, I mean, everything was like, you clearly see what happened. But I mean, besides that, no, I wasn't really surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Warriors just have so much like youth on their team now due to the 2 seasons that they had off, getting Kuminga, getting Wiseman, getting Jordan Poole. That's helped them out a lot. Where even when we talk about the free agency and the whole big drama with the trades, they're still being mentioned as one of the players in the that can trade people because they have all this youth and athleticism that they can like trade off if they like. Drunk guy, I know you were rooting for Miami, but did you see the Warriors coming out of the West?
Uh, to be honest, starting of the playoffs, no. My initial pick was definitely Phoenix going back to the finals. I didn't have them winning, but
Stupid.
I definitely had them going back to the finals. I had the Warriors going to the conference finals, but I definitely didn't think they would be winning another championship this year. But throughout the playoffs, as we all saw, they were
I had
firing
both
all
of them.
cylinders. Curry's running the postseason this year was remarkable. Poole, Wiggins. I don't know where the fuck this Wiggins came from, but he has definitely put his dick on the table and did his thing. And yeah, and they proved why they're he say one of the greatest teams of the last decade, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. I would say they are the best team of the last decade of NBA basketball because we're out of the decade where Kobe won back-to-back championships. But
Yeah,
Romeo,
just to be clear, I had no faith in the Phoenix Suns. I knew they were
thank
gonna.
you.
I knew they were gonna blow it. They're fool's gold.
Not like that.
I
He
knew it was
PP'd
gonna
on
happen,
Wayne.
and I said it.
He
And I
PP'd
said it
on
all
fucking
year.
Wayne.
And I said it all year. You can even ask Romeo. I said it all year. I said the Phoenix Suns are not gonna make the finals again. They're gonna choke. They're gonna be fool's gold, and that's exactly what happened.
But y'all
Yeah.
remember, y'all were all in that chat when I said it when they made the finals last year. I was like, not enough people are realizing that Chris Paul chokes a lot. He either gets injured late into the playoffs or he chokes, and he choked
Cold
again.
no shoe. Yep.
He choked again. Romeo, what did you think about how the playoffs played out? What was like the biggest shock for you throughout the playoffs this season?
I got a ton of notes on the playoffs. Bear with me. I originally had Milwaukee Phoenix, so I was wrong on that. Phoenix, never picking them again. It's over for them.
Yeah,
They
100%.
are done. Done. This was their opportunity. That's it. Their Aiton's probably gone. Unless they get Kevin Durant, I'm not picking them ever again. And even then, I might not pick them. Even though. Milwaukee, I think they got hurt with that Middleton injury. I think they could have went to the finals. I think they could have posed a threat to the Warriors.
I 100% agree with you, especially because how you saw how that Boston series played out. They took Boston 7 without Middleton. They would have beaten them with Middleton.
Giannis was killing it. He tried every single way, so nobody cannot downplay Giannis. Yo, like he
40-point
played his
triple-double.
ass off. He played his ass off. So nobody can downplay Giannis when it comes to that either.
The Warriors kind of surprised me. I thought they were beatable. That game where they lost by 50 to the Grizz without Ja Morant. I was like, somebody could beat them, but nobody could outcoach Steve Kerr. And then Stephen Curry brought it in the finals, for his legacy. Andrew Wiggins, I apologize. I sent my apology form in. I was wrong about Andrew Wiggins.
I'm still waiting for one, but I'll get into that later.
No, you can say it now. You can say it now because you're not gonna get it. So.
Let Romeo finish. I'm next.
That was a good job by the Celtics getting to the finals, but when it came to the finals, all those turnovers. Oh my god, it was impossible to watch the basketball. All the turnovers, it was disgusting. As far as the NBA playoffs as a whole, a lot of blowouts. Like what was going on with all that? That wasn't fun.
Yo, that was probably my main thing. That was my main thing too. That there was a lot of blowouts. Usually, it's usually not this common. Like it was weird to me seeing that.
My favorite moment of the playoffs was Minnesota celebrating at the end of that play-in game. Like they won the championship.
The Knicks fans are bad after winning one game.
Pat Beverly
Hey,
crying and shit.
I'm not going to front. I'm not going to front. That's how I celebrated the Clippers losing that play-in game. I was crying. I was like, yes, we're not the only LA team that didn't make the playoffs. Yes.
And Pat Bev did all of that, just to get traded a couple months later, whatever.
Yeah, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Chris G, your thoughts, your overall thoughts on the playoffs.
She's gonna start with Andrew Wiggins. Drunk guy, you said who would have thought Andrew Wiggins would have pulled this shit off? Oh, I know a guy. You're fucking looking at him right here. I said it from the beginning. I said it from the beginning. They said Andrew Wiggins was a bust.
Exactly. No. No. First of all, you're full.
He pulled out.
You're full of. Wait, you're full of shit because every time when it came to Wiggins, you always flip flop. So don't give me that shit.
I just said fuck Wiggins. Because you sound like he's my favorite player.
No. Don't try to use that excuse because you was flip flopping. So don't give me that.
If that's what you call it.
This is exactly why you will not get an apology.
I'm gonna send you my address. I want my apology handwritten.
Oh no, you're definitely not getting
Andrew Wiggins.
You're not handwritten. No. You definitely. You're definitely not going to get one. You're definitely not going to get one for flip flopping.
Let's go back to the Warriors. Started the season, didn't think they had a chance at the championship. A lot of question marks, right? You got young talent. You don't know how the young talent is going to perform. You got Clay coming back. You don't know how Clay is going to perform. Steph Curry after an injury. You don't know how he's going to perform. Just a lot in the air. Started the playoffs, no doubt in my mind, the Warriors were coming out of the West. Depending on who they go up on the East, it would have been tough because I think Chris Middleton not getting hurt with the Bucks. I mean, that Bucks team is scary when they're at full strength. You know what I mean? But once he went down, it felt like whoever was coming out of the West, and I had faith in Warriors the whole time. Shout out to my boy Boo across the street because I'm still smoking that Warriors pack off of that bet. That's just how much faith I had in them. I bet on the Warriors. I bet some weed on the Warriors and I won. They didn't let me down. But Steph Curry just solidifying his legacy. Klay
100%.
Thompson coming back being Klay, which is good to see because he's been through 2 or 3 rough years. Andrew Wiggins balling out like I knew he would. I'm glad Jordan Poole is not a bust, not a one season bust. But yeah, everything went right for them. I'm happy.
Yeah, and I'll wait till Romeo comes back because I think I remember vividly when Romeo shared his bracket for the playoffs and it had Phoenix. Oh yeah, he's back now. I think he can hear us.
I heard you.
Now. Yeah, he said he had that bracket and he showed us he put Phoenix in the NBA Finals, and I think I ripped on him for like a day and a half. I was like, they're going to choke. I literally tried to tell you, like, redo your bracket. They're gonna choke. It's not gonna happen.
I think his bracket was busted the first round.
Exactly, basically.
I told you I had Phoenix, Milwaukee.
No, yeah, I told you with Phoenix in the finals. I was like, that's your first mistake. Your second mistake was saying Utah was going to beat Dallas. I was like, that's not happening. Yeah. I was like, I've learned 2 lessons. I learned 2 lessons last season.
I think that was at the time where they had that Luka injury, like, right?
I told you that did not matter. Utah.
Jalen Brunson is amazing. Jalen Brunson was amazing. What can we say about Jalen Brunson, man? He was awesome.
Great picking up superstar in the making.
Can't have it both ways.
Can't say
the Mavericks were successful and then say Brunson had nothing to do with it. You can't have it both ways.
I didn't say he had nothing to do with it. I'm just saying now this.
You say he didn't have Utah winning. I mean,
if Jalen Brunson goes to another team, great move. What a great move by that organization. Jalen Brunson goes to the Knicks. Oh, overpaid. Trash.
He is overpaid. Y'all literally sacrifice your whole NBA draft for a 3rd tier point guard. Like, I would never understand that. I'm sorry.
3rd tier? Y'all always give him 2nd.
He is.
He's not 2nd tier. He's not 2nd tier. He's not 2nd tier is an all-star point guard. It's not even the 1st tier is an elite point guard. Yeah, 2nd tier is an all-star point guard. He's a 3rd tier point guard.
I say that because he had his breakout season just happened with the playoffs. So I feel like I give him another year. So I can see him going.
He's 6. He'll be fine.
He's the 14th highest rated point guard. 14th highest paid.
Yeah. So my thing, So when it came to like tiers, I kind of see where Sid is coming from. just because like this year was his best season. He had a good he had.
But
a
you
great
guys are also just looking at
postseason.
numbers, bro. Just because his fucking numbers aren't that great doesn't mean he doesn't bring something to the team that we need. We got him. We're not
Draymond
paying
Green, there you
him.
go.
We're not paying
No, no,
him the
no.
fucking $24 million
No.
to be 20 points, 10 assists. We're paying him $20 million to run a fucking offense that needs to be run and to help move the ball and help other guys score. That's it.
Well,
We don't need 20
here-
points from him. If he gives
yeah,
us
well-
18 points, fucking maybe 2 turnovers.
You want to need 20 points to
Seven
get a
assists.
fucking win? What do you mean?
Well, here's the-
Gotta be
That's not,
20
that's
here's-
not true. That's not true. If you
Well,
guys
no, but here's the
defensively
thing,
change your
though.
whole shit- that's
How
not
many
true.
offensive weapons do
No,
I
but here's
have?
the thing, though.
We got 2
here's
guys
the-
on the team that dropped 20 already.
No. Here's the thing, though.
Julius
I was-
and RJ both
I
finished
was-
the season with 20 points per game.
Well, here's the thing, though.
You're going to need that option, especially if he's running point. What do you mean he's not going to need 20?
Well-
You're going to at least need 20 from Jalen Brunson if y'all want to be a freaking threat in the East.
Not if you got shooters growing around them that could put up fucking 11, 12 points a game.
Yeah, you see. Well, well, first
We
of
should
all,
be averaging 120 points with all this talent, I guess.
Right.
Now here's the.
Just saying. I'm
But
just saying.
no, I'm saying. Here's the thing,
People
though.
looking into the
Let's
numbers.
just talk
People
about
are
it.
looking at the
That's not a
numbers.
win.
Well,
Like, oh,
here's the
you're
thing.
overpaying for the numbers. It's not about the
Well, no.
About
But
what
here's
he's
the
bringing
thing,
to the
though.
team.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing, though. I wasn't saying that it was a bad move. I'm saying I see where SP3 is coming from when it comes to him when it comes to his rankings, which technically what he said is actually true. I'm not saying that it's a bad move. It's a good move for the Knicks. It's just he's
paid a
not
little
right
extra
now.
for it.
He's not
I feel
right
you.
now. He's not a top tier point guard. That's the thing. It's a good move for the Knicks. He's just not a top tier point guard.
And he's
He
not getting
could
paid
be.
like one. He's the 14th
Yeah.
highest paid.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
he-
but that's the thing. I could name 15 point guards better than Jalen Brunson. That's why I think it's an overpay. He can play into that contract this season for sure. I'm not saying that. I'm saying at what he is right now, that's an overpay.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because in the
Half the league's
NBA,
getting overpaid, so that's-
yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
Also
that's
true. Also true.
That's
I'm
why-
saying-
Bradley Beal is an
Yeah.
overpay. Bradley
Yeah.
Beal is an overpay.
That's the thing too about the NBA.
So it's like,
And that's the thing about the NBA too is that these contracts, right? You see that he got $110 million. When you see other guys getting paid like 40, 50 million a year, that seems like chump change. So
yeah,
that's
Dame
just-
Lillard
that's
got a
just what the
freaking
market
2-year
is.
extension. He's coming off a
yeah,
fucking
that's just
abdomen
what the
injury
market
in
is
his
right
30s.
now.
So
And I disagree with Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is not an overpay because he could have been a scoring champion. If you can be number one in any type of like statistical bracket, then you are gonna get that type of max money. So Bradley Beal's not an overpay. I think that's two different subjects there. I think Bradley Beal, for what he is right now and where Washington Wizards are right now, that's not an overpay. They
I would-
needed
That's
to
fair.
lock him
I
down.
wouldn't call it an overpay depending on his health. I think it will be an
That's
overpay
fair. Okay,
if
that's
he
a good
doesn't
point.
stay
Yeah.
healthy because we
Yeah.
already see that he's been hurt a few times.
yeah,
But
too
if
many
he could play out that
No,
contract,
he does.
he's
No,
good.
he
He's
does get
definitely
hurt a
good.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
he definitely gets hurt a lot, and I think it's one of those things where it fits the Wizards just because he's the only player they really got in the Wizards. So
Like, they
So
don't want
that's
to
why
give
I
a
don't-
star. That's what it
that's why I don't see it as- that's why I don't
He
see.
has the leverage.
True,
Westbrook's an
true.
overpay.
You forgot about this guy?
Well,
This guy's
no.
on the Wizards. This guy's
When
on the
he got
Wizards.
his contract, right now, at the end of everyone at the end of their contract, especially if you're that age, you're gonna feel like an overpay. Chris Paul in a year, he's gonna be an overpay for if you're going by that standard.
He's
Romeo.
overpaid
At
now.
the time,
Fuck.
Rudy
at the
Gobert
time
is
he
an
got
overpay.
yeah, definitely. But at the time that at the time that Westbrook got his contract, he got paid what he was supposed to get paid. You're averaging a triple double. You're the only guy on OKC. He's just been traded 3-4 times, so he looks like an overpay now after what the season that he just had with the
Guy's
Los
fucking
Angeles Lakers.
crazy, yo. He got that big ass contract, and he gets out of there, and now all these fucking teams got to deal with his non.
They gotta deal with that contract.
and take up his contract. It's so crazy. I feel like he's been going from OKC for so long, but in hindsight, it's only been like fucking 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, because he went
Crazy.
from OKC. He went from OKC to Houston the season
and
of the
Washington.
bubble. Then he went from Houston to Washington the next season, and then he went from Washington to Los Angeles last season. So it's only been 3 seasons since he's been with the OKC Thunder. But we got a bunch of comments
might
in the
get moved
live
again.
chat. Thank you so much. A bunch of people joining us. Chase Oliver asking SP3, who your favorite baby Laker? 100% it's Brandon Ingram. That was the Laker that even when there was an option for us to get AD, I was like, find a way to keep Ingram. But I knew that Ingram was the best player that the baby Lakers had, so we had to trade him to get AD. So he would be my favorite baby Laker for sure. We got Yumo Boy Blue, who says, I don't follow NBA like that, but I feel like every time I hear the name Derrick Rose, I hear it followed by the words hurt or injured. Why do teams keep paying him to sit out? He was very good for the Knicks the previous season.
Even in the playoffs.
2020, 2021. He was probably arguably one of your second best player on that team.
Yeah,
SP3.
especially
But then
best player
also,
in the playoffs.
but then also when he's actually on the court, he's actually one of the best bench players. He's like one of the best six men in the league. So I could see why teams still get him because he's still productive.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like that with the Timberwolves too. Romeo,
big drop 50.
I got a question for you. Would you trade Anthony Davis right now for Ingram back?
I was going to ask him the same thing.
They would have to give us more than Ingram. They would have to give us more than.
But I'm talking about just between those two.
I don't think it would be
had
much.
to choose between Ingram or AD right now to come to be on the Lakers.
Of course, I would pick. I would pick AD. I'm still picking AD. Even with the injuries, we won a championship. He just has to find a way to not be fucking glass. That's all he has to do.
AD just hurt himself liking this video. He just hurt himself liking this video.
Torn ligament in his finger.
We got Chase Oliver, who says, I saw this Wiggins on rare occasions at Soto. I always believed in this dude. So you got another one on the Wiggins bandwagon with you, Chris G.
He was on Minnesota.
We got Derek, who says, all the stars being injured in the Western Conference, I knew it'll be too easy for them. That's BS. I wouldn't even we can't compare the injuries from this season to how the Phoenix Suns made it to the NBA Finals the previous year. Yeah. That was a fucking red carpet of injuries for them to make the NBA playoffs. Literally, they were down 2-1 to the Los Angeles Lakers until AD got hurt. They then I think the next round, that was when Kawhi Leonard got injured for the Clippers. They versed the Nuggets.
They played the Nuggets.
Murray went down.
LA. They played the Nuggets after LA, and that's when of course Murray was hurt and Michael Porter, I think he got hurt.
And then they versed the Clippers without Kawhi. So and then that was a cakewalk. I wouldn't compare that. I don't think that's a fair comparison at all, because at least with the Nuggets that the Warriors played, they had a whole season to try to put that team together without Murray, and it just is what it is. Jokic shouldn't have been MVP. That's all I'll say. Chase Oliver says SP3 acting like CP3 acting like he won the title when up 2-0 against the Bucks is still one of the most funniest things ever. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And the fact that he still got excuses, he wants to rework the whole playoffs for he was like, we're number one and we had to do this. BS.
Man, mess me with that shit.
Derek says, I didn't expect Luka to destroy the Suns by himself. I did. I did. I knew they would. People were telling me, "Oh, Luka's gonna lose." I was like, maybe the Suns do beat them, but I was like, they're gonna do it in like 6 or 7 because Luka is worth that many games on his own. So I wasn't very surprised when he went up and beat the Suns.
It's not only that, but they were outcoached. They were outcoached as well.
And then they got beat by the secondary. Like the role players was cooked.
Jason Kidd did a terrific job with that team.
He did definitely. We got Chase. He says we won the title, baby. Talking about the Warriors. We also
he's talking about the Wolves in that playing game.
Oh. That's true. I know. I thought he was talking about the Warriors. I was like, I guess you're in Cali. I guess you can claim the Warriors now. We got my good brother Xavier, aka Steve, saying, is Chris G a Warriors fan or a Knicks fan? Because I see him with the Knicks jersey, or is he a bandwagon bandit?
Damn.
Definitely.
What?
So I don't
No, he
know
was
if you
never.
noticed
No,
this.
no, he was never.
Never a Warriors
Yeah,
fan.
he was never. He was never a
this.
Warriors fan.
I got this.
It's because he looks like Klay Thompson.
I don't know. I don't know if you watch basketball, but clearly the Knicks are never any fucking good, and we don't make the playoffs. So when the playoffs happen, I like to watch a team that's actually gonna go and make it deep, and I think that's gonna win. And I like the Warriors. I like Steph Curry. I like Klay Thompson. I fucking like Steve Kerr as a player. I like him as a coach. Like I just like the Warriors, and I got people that I know that are from the Bay. That's their favorite team. So there's like I always go for them when the Knicks ain't in it. If you would have asked me 2 years ago, I would have been out here like fuck Trae Young.
Yo, I want everyone here to answer this question. If Chris G picked up a basketball and was in full Warriors gear and walked into the Warriors arena, would anyone stop him?
Bro.
Would anyone stop him?
Probably wouldn't. Yeah,
Well,
he's
to be
probably
fair,
too
we
fan.
saw what happened with the other fake Klay Thompson guy.
Exactly.
He got the same skin color though. I'm a little too tan for Klay.
Clay looking great. Nice tan. Nice tan, Clay.
Had a good summer.
Just make sure you're on a yacht and your championship hat just flies off.
There you go. And that if you're at the parade, you knock someone down because you're too drunk. Chase Oliver saying
that'll be easy.
Chase Oliver saying Bradley Beal is great, but his team just stinks. That's a good point. Yeah. Derek saying Bradley Beal don't seem to care about winning at all. No, Damian Lillard doesn't care about winning at all.
I'll tell you what, though. If I'm making that kind of money, I probably wouldn't care about winning either.
I won. I'm making $50 million a year. I won already. I won.
He's like, I won the ring. I'm gonna get me a ring. I'm gonna get me a ring at the jewelry store.
I'll win a ring on NBA 2K. I'll win a ring on there.
Yeah, and it's not like the NFL. NBA money is guaranteed money. So if you get paid $50 million and you play 50 games, you're getting paid no matter what. So.
Yeah, we got Chase Oliver. It says Brunson's still unproven, but the Knicks had to take the risk on someone this all season, and they chose Brunson. I just think y'all could have drafted somebody. I'm just saying that. That's all I'm saying. Y'all could have drafted somebody.
Also at our pick.
Also, the move wasn't even surprising at all. It's because the Knicks, they were scouting Brunson during the playoffs, and they're kind of tampering the whole time.
Oh, yeah, that's what you mean.
This
tampering
started like 3 years ago, bro. When Leon Rose took over as the Knicks, this was the plan. We're bringing Jalen to the Knicks. This is the plan.
This year,
dad
but this time,
Leon Rose is his godfather. Leon Rose's son is Jalen Brunson's agent. They have family dinners every year. This is gonna happen.
Yeah, this was already their plan. But I think I'm talking about this year that they kind of made it more obvious, which is why now they're like considered tampering. So I'll be
fuck you, Adam Silver.
Oh, awesome. Derek also saying he's playing with his father. Yeah. We got Chase Oliver who says, as a Wolves fan, D Rose is a great locker room guy as well. He just beloved and a good glue guy. Yes, indeed. We got Yuma Boy Blue who says, oh, okay, he's in like a 6-man role. That makes sense. And Frantic World said D Rose is still playing. Yes. And then Derek also said, I said the same thing about the Suns last year. Chill. Yeah. Suns are choke artists. That's what I'll say. I'm sticking by that. I think I don't like the Suns on the same level. I don't like the Celtics, which says a lot about my Lakers. That far. Shit. Yes, I don't like the Celtics, but I don't like the Suns even more because people put Chris Paul on this level, but you had people saying Chris Paul is better than Steph Curry last year. Like that's how people propped him up.
Oh, I hate sports media regardless.
They put all the blame of those Clippers teams choking on Doc Rivers. Like Chris Paul wasn't the best player on all those teams.
Right.
Yep. Bro, and then their fans tend to the fans tend to go ghost during chats too. So that's another story.
Sometimes they just leave the chat in fucking general, and they get.
That's one thing about sports I hate is always the recency bias. That's always going to be in sports. Unfortunately, people come out with the most outlandish, stupidest shit based off of what you just saw last night. It doesn't make sense. It's ridiculous.
It was like that, yeah. It was
So
like that all season with the Suns. It was like that all season with the Suns when everyone was like, "Oh yeah, they're a clear favorite." But then it's like I already knew what was happening in front of me. This is why I was like, I have no faith in them. Now the Mavericks beating them. I mean, is that more of a surprise? Maybe, but I mean, you saw what happened.
Especially in that fashion. That game was pitiful. That game was fucking pitiful.
They were up like 60-27 at one point. That was ridiculous.
Nobody can make a shot in Phoenix.
Yo, guys, before we move on, I got to get out of here. I got to head to work. It's always a pleasure getting on these.
Well, let the people know where they can find you, good brother.
You could find me at True Hill, Chris G, on Twitter and Instagram. And you can find me here now on the True Hill Heat Sports channel. Talk about mainly basketball, but I would love to get on football, baseball, UFC, boxing, everything else we can get on. You know, I'll try to get on as many things as I can. But you can always find me on the True Hill Heat Wrestling channel. Every Tuesday night, NX3, watch along with Romeo and the 3-time baby making championess. Thursdays, Blunt Impact, hopefully be making my return soon. Impact Wrestling watch alongs on Thursday. We got NX3 number 66 coming up this week. Should be a fun one like always. I'll try to stay awake on this one. And guys, thank you for joining us. Hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you guys. We'll talk later.
Thanks for joining us, Chris. As always, we love hearing from you about the game of basketball. So, and get to work. We'll get to work.
Oh, yeah, I'm out of here. Let's go, Knicks. Josh, I'll be waiting for my apology.
Oh, you're not getting one. Fuck Wiggins.
Damn.
You tried to get it in real quick before you signed off. Oh, man. But yes.
I was going to say one last thing about the playoffs. Like, it's there's so many teams I hate. So it's just like, so many teams I don't want to see win. I counted 6 this year. So like I survived in the end. They won.
You got a lot of hate. Is that like a thing with Knicks fans? Y'all got a lot of hate in your heart.
Well, Miami's automatic. I hate Miami. Atlanta, fuck Trae Young. Chicago, I don't like the Bulls. Boston, that's self-explanatory. Brooklyn, that's also self-explanatory. Didn't like Phoenix, the fans. I don't like the fans. They're second class. They're second class in the city. You know that.
You're from Brooklyn.
Who else did I like? Yeah, that's it.
Oh, well,
6 teams I don't like.
I only had 2 teams. I only had 2 teams I don't like: the Suns and the Celtics, and both of them lost. So I'm happy.
You hate? Well, okay, yeah. In the playoffs. But as far as the whole league goes, you hate probably
I hate
more teams.
I hate the Clippers.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Those are my 3. Those are my 3 teams that I hate and I never want to see win a championship, like, ever. That's it.
You'd be okay. You'd be okay with the Knicks being successful.
Yeah, I know y'all
you wouldn't
not.
Like us. You wouldn't like us. You wouldn't like us.
I know y'all not going to be, so I don't have to worry about that. That's why the Knicks is not even worth my hatred. Like, I know y'all not going to ever
being a
get
New
to
Yorker,
that.
I would love for it to happen, but I don't give a flying fuck if y'all are successful or not.
Yo, like literally, when I say that I knew that KD and Kyrie were going to the Nets, I was telling my nephew at that time, I was like, no, I want them to go to the Knicks. I wanted the Knicks to get KD and Kyrie. I wanted to see the Knicks become successful, but I know y'all not. I know y'all not going to land that big free agent. I know y'all not going to win a championship. I'm just okay with just knowing y'all are going to stay in y'all place, and I just have to deal with y'all annoying fans hating on my Los Angeles Lakers. But talking about the Lakers should bring us to the offseason, and of course I will address the Lakers implosion because we were the team that went below expectations the most by far. It is no joke at all. Russell Westbrook, probably the worst trade in Laker history, was getting.
Congrats, Russ, on picking up your player option. Congrats, Russ. Get that bag.
$47 million. Seriously, we gotta pay this guy $47 million. Oh man, like I had high hopes for the Los Angeles Lakers going into last season. I said the Lakers were going to finish first. I said it was going to be Brooklyn and the Lakers in the finals at the beginning of the season because I thought this would finally be the year KD and Kyrie would work together. I didn't know Kyrie's political views and all that other stuff. And I thought
Remember that meme?
Remember
that meme that said, "Let's just fast forward to the finals," and it had the
Yeah.
Nets and the Lakers on it.
They probably heard me.
Fast forward to 2K.
They probably heard me and just like said, okay, that's what's gonna happen. But yeah, it did not work out. It was like putting a round peg into a square hole with Russell Westbrook on the Lakers. Russell Westbrook, as a lot of people been calling him. Like, yeah, the worst 3-point shooter in the league, one of the worst free throw shooters at point guard in the league. Didn't average a triple-double, as has become the ritual with him over the last 4 seasons. There's nothing else I could say about this. This season was a bust for us. Russell Westbrook didn't work out. AD was injured. LeBron was hurt for a couple of games. Like,
he's not getting any younger.
This season could not go worse, and it has convinced me that the Lakers are at their worst when they think they are creating a super team, because I've seen this now 3 times in my lifetime, and the only time it worked out even slightly was when we had old ass mailman Karl Malone, that fucking bastard, fuck him, and we had Gary Payton. At the end of their careers. At least we made it to the NBA Finals by the sheer will of Kobe Bean Bryant, who had to score 40 points in 9 straight games, 35 points in 13 straight games for us to even make it that far, because Shaq was injured for most of that season. And we made it to the finals, and we lost to arguably the worst NBA Finals winning championship team of all time. Detroit Pistons. I'm sorry, the Pistons don't have any top 75 player on their fucking team, and we lost to them.
They played great basketball that game, and then the Lakers imploded.
They played some of the best defense you have ever seen in the NBA Finals. I'm not saying they're not a great team, but they are probably, when you look at the Patriots, if you look at the last 20 years of NBA Finals teams, at least the Dallas Mavericks in 2011 had Dirk Nowitzki. Who did the Pistons' best player was arguably Rasheed Wallace or Ben Wallace, who
great defense.
Rasheed Wallace.
Billups was definitely going off that finals.
Yeah, I know he won NBA Finals MVP, but I'm saying, like, who would you say is really their best player? Yeah, their best player.
Probably Sheed, but Ben was a great defensive player, but I won't call him.
I would say Hamilton.
I would say
I would have said Rip Hamilton, but he wasn't like he wasn't a top tier star.
No. But literally, you can we can have 20 people on this stream, and I think somebody would say someone different. Yeah, it would say so, because there was no definitive best player on that team. That's why I said, when you look at especially in my lifetime, I think that's the worst NBA champions that we have, where you compare them to all the other
championships were, to be honest, very fucking boring until Miami won in 06. But let's see the hit on that.
Oh, well, no, I'm talking about the NBA champions. I'm not talking about the playoffs. I'm talking about
the championship.
When
you compare that year against Nets was trash. After y'all three-peat, the NBA Finals champion was kind of for a while.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But yes, let's talk about the free agency now, as we're going to wrap this stream up. We got a couple of comments to highlight here. We got Derek saying signing 2 old guys. Also, the problem with the Lakers. Yeah, we didn't fill out the roster correctly at all.
LeBron James
100%.
is not that good of a GM sometimes,
Stop letting LeBron. Rob Pelinka did good. He did good in the role. Like, oh God.
He's a LeBron James. He's a LeBron James.
LeBron is the worst GM ever. Ever.
He's like Phil Jackson as a president.
Yeah, pretty much. And now we got him. Now we got him back being an advisor. Lakers needs need new young players. 100%, I would say that for sure. We got Derek who says, I also knew LeBron James would try to win the championship with Russ to take a shot at KD, Kawhi, and others. I don't think it was taking a shot at. He thought it was a good move. Wasn't, but he thought it was. And we got Chase Oliver. He says Chauncey Billups was the best player. We got he also says Tayshaun Prince was so young, you felt he was gonna explode and be a good all-star player for years to come. I mean, no, I thought he would be a great defender, and he was at that time, but I didn't think
he was a great role player. That's about I don't think he was gonna be a breakout star. I think he was a great role player. Yeah, but I didn't see a good star. As in for like Chauncey Billups being the best player, he wasn't really their best player until maybe after that first championship, because that's when he actually started getting into all-star games. Because even that season when he was the finals MVP, he never even made an all-star game.
Exactly. And then they shipped him out. What the net like the season after they the season after they won, they played the Spurs. They shipped him out, and he went to Denver. So yeah.
And now Billups, now Billups is able to convince Dame Lillard, you still got a chance here to stay here, stay around. We're gonna do something here.
Well, before we get into the free agency, we'll run through a lot of the free agency. Finishing up with the Golden State Warriors winning the championship. I'll start with Romeo first. Where does Steph Curry in the all-time great players in NBA history? Where does he rank for you now?
He's in it now. He's in my top 10 now. That cemented it. He's in it. He's the greatest shooter of all time. That championship, he pretty much put the team on his back. So. And that was the one thing that was sort of missing from Curry. Like he's won championships. He had KD. He wasn't all that great in the finals performances. His defense picked up a lot this playoffs.
Even
he's in my top 10. Say that again.
Even his playmaking.
Yes, I got him eighth all time.
What about you, Josh?
Yeah, he's definitely within the top 10 now. I would have to do like a ranking to see, but he's definitely in the top 10. Him finally getting his finals MVP probably did it. He's the greatest shooter of all time. I could say that now. It took me for a while to say that, just because of the time frame. Usually when these kind of players get into a hot streak, you want to see how long it lasts, and he continues to do it. So I think at this point, I think it's safe to say that he's the greatest shooter of all time. But yeah, I think that's part. Yeah, he's definitely top 10 all time now.
What about you, drunk guy?
Definitely he admitted the greatest shooter of all time like a few years ago, to be honest. But definitely top 10 for sure. Like this was his crowning moment. He's been a part of all these history making moments. But of course, if you're not in it to win championships and be a factor in winning a championship, what the hell are you here for? This year, he did that. He put this team on his back. Shit, a lot of games he brought the team back. They were losing, and he went off a lot of those games. And
it's crazy because
top 10.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I remember it was 2 years ago that somebody made a poll saying which player still has the most to prove, right? And there was a lot of people who said, Steph Curry has nothing to prove. He's already done this, he's already done that. And I'm like, no, Steph Curry still had a lot to prove, because one, that was the year that he got hurt, that he was pretty much out for the whole entire season. But then also it's just, like you said, winning the finals MVP was, that was still on a personal level. That was still, a chip on his own shoulder that he's even said himself. So there was a lot that he still had to prove. Now you could kind of say hey, he really has nothing to prove now. Right. You could say that now. But before then, when people were saying that, it was kind of a little crazy to me, because it was no, he still has a lot of basketball left, because usually shooting, when you're a player, your shooting pretty much goes last. Your leg, your shooting, your ability, that goes last pretty much when you're on your downside of your career, and he's still clearly the best shooter.
34
in the
years
NBA.
old, still out there.
Yeah.
So-
Curry shut the haters up.
He did.
Yeah.
He definitely did, and I'm happy for him. He's in my top 10. I say that he's number 9 right now in my top 10. I would go my top 10. This is the order I put it. I actually wrote it down. Michael Jordan, of course, is number 1. I got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar number 2, Magic Johnson number 3, LeBron James number 4, Kobe Bryant number 5, Tim Duncan number 6, Larry Bird number 7, number 8 Shaq, number 9 Steph Curry, and number 10 Bill Russell. So he basically leaped over Russell and Wilt for me because I didn't really see them. I can't really attest to them.
Yeah,
and
I can't.
two, they were beating a bunch of mechanics and school teachers. So yeah. I'm sorry.
I hate that. I hate when people say that. Like you
They
play who's
did.
in front of you.
But you do have to think about it though. It was
but
easier,
that's the
you
thing.
know
It's your
easier to get
level
into
of
the league compared
competition.
to now.
It's your level of competition. If you're versing guys who have been doing this since they were a kid, and the other guys are versing guys that are not even doing this full time, then yes, I'm going.
But
I think that the top 10 should always, that level of competition should always be a factor in your top 10. It shouldn't just be, oh no, you just have to be who's in front of you. No, if you beating mechanics and school teachers and construction workers, then no, you don't rank higher than guys that are beating LeBron James and Kevin Durant.
But Wilt Chamberlain's numbers are like godly. Like they're not just like
right.
no, they're like
that's why he's
right
number
now?
11.
double.
No,
They're like
you
double
think
what
there's
the
no way
numbers
he
are
can
today.
do that now. He's not dropping 100 points.
He would never do that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
he
he would
don't
be a
ever
little
do
bit less, and he would be on par with the stars of today. A little bit less than godly.
No.
What's a little bit
No,
less
he
than
would just be
godly
Shaq
right now?
numbers. He would just be Shaq numbers.
Right, and
That's what he
Shaq
would
is in your
be.
top 10.
Yeah. Shaq is higher than Wilt because Shaq had greater competition.
We don't know if Wilt beat Shaq. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know, but Wilt couldn't
Wilt
beat
beat
Russell. He's not even the best player.
He's
not even
Wilt
the
couldn't
best.
beat Russell.
He's not even the best player of his generation.
Which is why,
that's
Russell's
why
in my
he's
top
number
10 too.
11.
And he hit it on Kareem.
But you know what's crazy though? Like he couldn't even be Abdul-Jabbar, and Abdul-Jabbar you put number 2 for a reason compared to it's not even a top 10.
Exactly.
And mind you, Kareem learned from Wilt, and he was better than him. So what are you
exactly.
Yeah,
Like, no,
amazing.
like I
got Kareem number 2.
Oh, you should. Everyone should have Kareem number 2. I feel like not enough people do. But let's go through a lot of the stuff that is going on in the free agency right now. We're not really done, so probably our next basketball podcast will be more about the complete free agency. So we'll just touch on it for now. I'll just go like one person with each of these moves, the major moves of the offseason, before we get into the KD and Kyrie drama. So I'll start with you, Drunk Guy JJ. What's your thoughts on the Clippers adding John Wall to Kawhi and PG?
Oh joy! They add another guy who can't stay healthy. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. But to be honest, to be fair, all bullshit aside, players like a John Wall, I really want these guys to have a season to shut people up, to like really prove themselves worthy. Will it happen? I don't know. I'm leaning towards probably not, but I'm not a hater. I don't want these guys to fail. Listen, I want him to prove.
Spoiler.
He just signed for 2 years. I want him to, shut people up.
Spoiler. Yeah. Spoiler. It will not.
Pretty much so.
Yeah. Like I said, probably not.
Romeo, because you said you hated them, I'll ask you, what do you think about the Boston Celtics adding Malcolm Brogdon from the Indiana Pacers for basically nothing?
Move. That's why it's so great, man. They got way better, man. This is a great solid move. Picking up. What did they trade? What did they get? What did they give up? A fucking bar of
A
Snickers.
hot dog in a hand.
I like literally like I was like man, they gave up man like a ticket, a coupon, like IOU coupon for Malcolm Brogdon, basically, in my opinion, because I didn't even think about remembering the trade, but they traded the 2023 first round pick and 5 players, Nick Straukus,
None of which is
Daniel
important.
Daniel Thias, Aaron Nesmith, Jawan
Yes.
Morgan, and Malik Fritz.
None of which is important. What a
Dice is
move.
probably the only one, but even so,
Yeah,
bye.
Thias is the only one that got really playing time for them. So
Now Marcus Smart can be even more of a pest on defense as if he wasn't already. Like that really improved the Celtics. But
and now Tatum doesn't have to not to have 100 turnovers next playoffs. So
well, I don't know. He still might. We never know. With the ball in his hands,
No,
he still might.
because I think he only did that because he had to play point guard. He had to be distributor a lot of times when he's not that type
That's not
of
his
player.
game.
Josh, I'll ask you about the biggest move so far of the off season of the free agency. Rudy Gobert going to the Minnesota Timberwolves for everything and their mama. So I'll read off this one. This one I have to read off because it's like I think that this is a gross
Fucking pitiful
overpay.
for him.
So Rudy Gobert goes to Minnesota for Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverly, Leandro Barmoro, Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt, and a total of 4 first-round picks.
So
Holy shit!
So when you say like biggest move, do you mean like because Gobert is like really really tall, or just like, because honestly, I'm just trying to figure out this trade myself because you get Gobert, right? Which we know he's a top center in the league, right? I take nothing away from him. You know, I know Shaq does. I know Shaq be hating. Rightfully
Shaq
so.
hates on everybody.
You know what I'm saying? But like rightfully so. I understand where Shaq is coming from, but this move is so fucking confusing. Like I'm still lost because you gave so much up for Gobert. Like
Yeah, that's fucking. Man.
For one player, right? Not only one player, but then he's a center, so you're gonna get a lot of defense from him. But then also you have Karl Anthony, like you have this guy, you have Cat on your team, right? Aren't they both centers?
I think Cat, because he's a shooter, they're gonna move him to the 4.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, they're gonna move him to the 4.
So,
like it's just so fucking it's bizarre. That's all I can really say. And then when it comes to Minnesota, I'm not really surprised because Minnesota, the problem with Minnesota is that I feel like when they finally get like a niche of like a little success, they find a way to fuck it up. And I think this is a way that they're finding a way to fuck it up for no apparent reason. That's what it comes down to. It's just
I add something?
It's the Timberwolves being the Timberwolves.
Pretty much.
Can I add something? You traded all of that for a guy who got pulled off the court in the playoffs because the other team, Dallas, was shooting threes all over them, and Gobert could not switch around. He was making the wrong choice on defense the entire time. They had to take him off the court. He didn't even play in crunch time. And so you're trading all that for somebody. If you go to the playoffs, there is going to be easily exposed. Easily.
Like Dallas showed how you beat him. You just play 5 out. You play small, and that's the way to overcome his defense.
Literally, all you can guarantee with Gobert is fucking rebounds. To be honest, you can't guarantee him to score. And you might shit on Pat. Pat might have his stupid ass, comments or whatever the case may be. But I feel like on that kind of team, especially with Minnesota still basically being a young team, you need a guy like Pat Beverly on that team. But to basically get rid of him was kind of dumb.
Yeah. It was the biggest move of the offseason so far because of
it was kind of dumb, but I kind of see why.
And draft picks.
It was kind of dumb.
Improve their rebounding and shot blocking.
Yeah.
So,
and one more thing.
Yeah, they had to
Jazz,
that's just pretty much
on the Jazz. They got a great haul for that. but they're still fooling themselves if they think that they're going to build around Donovan Mitchell. Why don't you just trade Donovan Mitchell to get a haul for him, and then you got something.
Yeah, the only way to really rebuild is to blow it all up at this point.
Right.
Like, you're not going to
100%.
do anything with Donovan Mitchell as your number one guy. We're only going to touch on this because I feel like this is going to be the main topic for our next edition of our NBA discussions here on the THH Sports YouTube channel. I will just ask y'all the one question. We'll go around the horn. Everybody can say like one sentence about it. The KD and Kyrie drama. So the question that you have to answer, we'll start with Drunk Guy. What team does KD be on by the time we do our next NBA discussion? And what team will Kyrie be on?
KD, the heat is on, and Kyrie will be making Uncle Drew. Kyrie will be making Uncle Drew 2 in Hollywood. So, well, obviously it's two teams. LA, the Lakers.
Absolutely. That looks beautiful. I agree with the Kyrie part about him being in LA. And I'm going to say KD will still be on the Nets because the Nets want too much for KD.
That is also a problem. They won.
That's what I think. That's the big issue here with that one. Josh?
I think Kyrie ends up on the Lakers. KD, I also feel like he's gonna stay just because, for one, there's a big asking price for KD, which I totally understand. But as in him wanting to move, we know how KD is. KD tends to flip flop how he feels at times. So maybe this is an indication of this was his way of getting their attention. I don't know. It's just a weird situation just because he said he wanted to play with Kyrie, right? Even during the offseason, he was going to stick with Kyrie. And then he was pretty much waiting for Kyrie to make a move to see if he was going to, decline his player option or not. Kyrie picks it up, but then all of a sudden the next day, KD wants to get traded. So it's a weird, like, to me, that it didn't make it really real sense. Obviously there's something going on with the Nets. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe that's what it was. But then at the same time, if that was the case, if that was the case, he should have made that more clear, because I think that's been the biggest problem with KD as well. KD is being on the Nets, he hasn't really spoken up about certain things. And like, if he's frustrated with Kyrie, there was times he spoke about it with Westbrook when he was frustrated with Westbrook. There was times he spoke about it when he was on the Warriors when he was frustrated. But for some reason, when he's been on the Nets, he hasn't really said much about that.
Because he followed Kyrie to the Nets.
Yeah.
KD wanted to go to the Knicks. I'm telling y'all.
No, I'm saying like
inside source.
No, I'm saying like,
I know.
No, I'm like, no, I'm saying like, I get that part. No, I'm saying like, yeah, which I get that part, but it's just more the fact, like, even if you're frustrated, it's okay to say that it's okay to feel some type of way, but it's just one of those things that I think he ends up saying to Brooklyn, the asking price is too high. And then if they built a team around KD, I think he ends up staying because of that.
Romeo?
I'm looking at these contracts. KD, that's amazing to me that he doesn't have player options on his contract for any of these years coming up, it looks like. So he's stuck. And he doesn't have no trade clause. He doesn't have that either. That's wild to me.
I think part of it too is because of that injury when he tore his Achilles. I think that's part of it too.
Well,
I think that's
they paid him for that whole year.
Yeah, I think that's why they didn't give him those type of options, because getting a player like that, which anything could happen, and KD has been injured the last few years too, so it's not like, but I think that's part of it too.
I think Kyrie goes to the Lakers. The Lakers are desperate. They're the team that wants him the most.
Desperate.
They are. They want him on there. And,
we are.
I don't. What would they give the Nets for that? Like, Do they have anything
We're gonna
valuable
give,
over there?
we're gonna give them the. I think the trade that I've seen that makes the most sense is we give them Russ, THT, the 2027, 2029 first round picks, and they give us Kyrie and Joe Harris.
Bruh.
But we want
Russell-
Steph Curry. That's the thing that's holding it up.
Westbrook and Simmons building brick houses together at Barclays Center. Sign me up. KD, I don't know if it's this year. I think eventually he finds his way to Phoenix, though. I think Phoenix also gets desperate and trades some of their shooters, role players, Cam Johnsons, those guys to the Nets.
But knowing the Nets, they're going to ask for Devin Booker. But I'm pretty sure that's going to be the main topic for our next edition of our NBA discussion here on THH Sports. So we'll leave it right there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for our live stream for THH Sports number 3. Drunk Guy JJ, let the people know where they can find you, sir.
You can follow me on Instagram, Hacksaw_J_Duggan. Twitter, Drunken Master JJ. Facebook, my name is my name. If you don't know my name, don't try to add the kid. You can follow the gang. Oh, of course, every Monday, Rated Raw Superstars with my good brothers, True Hill Josh and my guy True Hill Romeo. Brock Lesnar returns tomorrow, but who cares about wrestling? This is basketball. Tuesday, I might pop up on NX3 again. Wednesday, Elite Heat. Thursday, Blunted. Well, I'm just saying everything now. But Fighter Fest starts on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We just do everything every day. You know, it's True Hill Heat. It's what we do. Follow us on Patreon, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pornhub, Skonex, Black Planet, Christian Mingle, Love Harmony, eHarmony, Pornhub. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. Just keep providing that good old content. And True Hill Sports now. See?
Josh, let the people know where they can follow you, sir.
You can follow me, JMPunk321, Twitter and Instagram. Every Monday nights, Rated Raw Superstars. Every Wednesday night, Elite Heat on the True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel. And every weekend, Rampage Wrap Up on Twitch channel with Stat King. You'll follow me there.
Yes, for sure. That's going to be out later today over on twitch.tv/True Hill Heat Wrestling. So go over and check that out. Rampage Wrap Up. Romeo, let the people know where they can find you, good brother.
True Hill Romeo, Twitter and Instagram. Right here on the True Hill Heat Sports YouTube channel. Me and Josh will find time to make our first baseball video for the channel sometime this week. Next Saturday, I believe there's another UFC fight night from Long Island. It'll be early in the day, 2 p.m. start, I think. We'll try to do a watch along for that. Later tonight, I'll probably hop on Heel Stevens YouTube channel, talk some wrestling. And, you know, over on the True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel, I'm on every fucking day. You can find me there.
You can find Romeo. He joined us for True Hill Heat 183. I'll probably have to ask him. I'll ask him here live to join us for True Hill Heat 184, as we're gonna have a special guest. It's Samara joining us from SC Scoops, from our own YouTube channel. Great content creator. Don't horn it up. But yes, you can follow me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3. Of course, follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at True Hill Heat. We want to thank everyone. I think this was the most live viewers that we've gotten for our YouTube channel so far. So we very much appreciate you all joining us in the live chat. We'll be back here with our MLB discussion, our first one on THH Sports. So make sure you subscribe, share with a friend, and tell them True Hill Heat is now talking about sports. So for Drunk Guy JJ, for Josh, for Chris G, for Romeo, it is me, your new media forbidden door, SP3. This has been THH Sports NBA season and free agency recap. We are signing off until next time.
Man, we already got a theme song.